So anyway, I'm going to talk about awareness, just general tips about what to look out for when you're riding. But I think first and foremost, I'm going to talk about just what it feels like to ride, like in comparison to driving, I suppose. First things first, you've got all this gear on. Obviously you can sit in your car in your vest and pants if you want to, but when you're riding, you're obviously more exposed to the elements and the risk of making contact with the actual road. So you wear the appropriate gear. So there's all that to get used to. It's actually the gear itself, so like your boots, your jacket, your helmet, your gloves, it all mounts up in terms of weight. But all of that stuff you get used to. I think most significantly the difference is obviously the feeling of the weighty. Depends on how expensive your helmet is. Some of the more expensive ones are quite light, but it shouldn't shy you away from just getting a decent helmet that fits you. So yeah, you just got to get used to the extra weight on your neck, so that when you're looking around and stuff like that. But you quickly get used to it, and you soon build up the neck muscles needed to not really notice this thing on your head. Your cheeks will be squished in by the helmet. That's good, especially newer helmets. It's good because yeah, it's good because that means it fits and it's snug. Yeah, it means, sorry, I had to concentrate there. It means it fits and it's snug. What will happen is the padding, oh, what are you doing? The padding on the inside of your helmet will give slightly the more you wear it, and the helmet will fit your head better. It will tailor itself to the measurements of your face. Yeah, but a good fitting helmet, you shouldn't allow, so if you put your helmet on and you grab it and shake it around violently, your head shouldn't move independently of it, and it shouldn't dislodge. Not to get in my way. And it shouldn't kind of dislodge from its proper position. Also, your chin shouldn't be below the bottom half of, you know, the solid part of the helmet, if that makes sense. If you're unsure about whether your helmet fits you or not, just go into any bike shop. I think any competent bike shop, even a bloody garage, even if they don't sell helmets, they should be able to help you and let you know if your helmet fits properly or not. I'd always advise to, what am I doing? Fuck it. I'd always advise to buy a helmet from a shop, or if you're not, go into the shop and try some on, because different brands have different size and shaped helmets. You know, a large is not always the same size as a large and another brand, so always go out and check them out. Even if you go into the store, find the brand that you like, try it on, and then order online. That's a bit safer. At least you know that it will fit you. Currently, my helmet still squeezes my cheeks. I actually find it hard to talk because as I talk and open my mouth, my teeth are constantly rubbing against the edges of my cheeks. It's a bit painful sometimes, but hey, all in the name of vlogging, eh? So yeah, when you're sitting on your bike, most bikes, even the sportier lower ones, my one's quite low, mine's quite small compared to other bikes, but when you're sitting on the bike, you'll find that your positioning and your view of the road is quite elevated. You can see over most normal sized cars. If you can't really see over them, you can see through them. You know, you can see through the rear window and straight through to see the car in front. I believe it's my opinion that I feel that my perception of the road and everything is better than when I'm in a car. The helmet that's on your head, you hardly ever see it. You know, you can see the top boundary of the helmet, of your view. You can see the helmet there, but you're not really going to be looking up in the sky while you're riding. Same with the lower boundary as well, but you're not really going to be looking down at your hands. After you get used to the bike, you won't need to look at the controls. You may need to look at your speed, maybe double check if you're indicating. But if you're ever in doubt about whether you've left your indicator on, just press the button. It doesn't do any harm. If it's off, it'll stay off. If it's on, it'll go off. So you know that once you've done that, it will go off. So it's not really in the shot of my GoPro, but I'm constantly pressing my indicator, the cancel switch, just to make sure that it's off. Yeah, I hardly ever look down to check whether my indicator is on or not. So yeah, you will find that your view, it will be like a breath of fresh air, because you can see a whole lot more on the bike. You haven't got the pillars of your car or any kind of distractions. There's a lot less controls than in the car. Oh come on, my indicator is very dodgy. There's a lot less controls. It's just you focusing on the road and what's important, the main thing. But things to look out for. So when I'm filtering, I feel like, oh, this feels like deja vu, because I've done so many recordings of me talking about things to look out for, and I've just babbled on and I've decided not to upload it. So I feel like I'm just constantly going over this. But things to look out for, obviously, is other people. Once you're confident in the way that you ride, the next thing, you know, people say, oh, isn't riding dangerous because you can't control what other people are doing? But to an extent, you don't need to control what they're doing, you just need to be aware of what they're doing. If someone's suddenly going to do a U-turn or suddenly going to stop for no reason, you need to be able to know that that's coming. And there are things to look out for, to give you the heads up on certain stupid things that people will do. Now, my camera is not really going to pick up all of the things that I may notice, but I'll try my best to point them out. But things you look out for is just, when you're riding, don't just look at the cars, look at the drivers and look at what they're doing. So for example, if you're going to pass by or pass in a small gap, for instance, in between this parked car and a truck now, look at the truck's wing mirror to see if the driver has looked at you or not. Obviously, there's no solution for a fucking psychopathic fucking killer that's going to look at you and decide he's going to kill you. There's no solution for that. But fortunately, most drivers ain't out here to purposely kill you. So before you do things like going in between cars and filtering, just look to see if they've spotted you. Look to see if they're texting, look to see if they're daydreaming, not you know, not concentrating on what they're doing. If for any reason you have a doubt as to what the person is doing, whether they've seen you or not, just simply don't go, don't take the risk. Yeah, don't take the risk. You just hold back and just wait for a safer time to pass. With regards to filtering, you'll see from my videos that I filter very, let's say, efficiently. It's mainly because I have the bike to do so. My bike, my handlebars are very, very low. They go under taxi mirrors, for example. They go underneath this taxi mirror here, and a lot of other cars as well. So when I'm filtering, the main thing I'm looking out for is obviously the distance between the cars and the wing mirrors. So let's explain that. So I'll probably show you a clip where I'm filtering, where I'm actually kind of moving in between cars. What I'm actually doing is making sure that wing mirrors are staggered like so, so that way I can fit in between them. And this is what I'm constantly monitoring, for if I come across any wing mirrors that are lined up together, which makes it hard for my bike to get through. I can't kind of shimmy through it. The best way to get past those is either, well, actually just wait if you can, preferably not right beside the bike, the cars, because they could move off and veer in towards you. So just hang back a bit. Hang back a bit and wait for the situation to present itself for you to actually filter through. What are you doing? And another thing, see what that moped driver just did? If you're filtering between cars and you manage to get to a light, just as it changes from amber to green, do not race through. Even if you see that it's clear. These traffic lights are not designed for fucking cars or vehicles that can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2 seconds. They're not designed for that at all. So in most junctions you will see that obviously the road that's crossing in front of you, traffic lights will turn red, and you know, within a few seconds, especially on the lower speed roads, in a few seconds your lights will change. You will still have people that have just managed at the last moment to get through the lights, and the timing of the traffic lights are not designed for your vehicle to be out in the middle of the junction when the last of the crossing. Concentrate. Thank you. The last of the crossing cars are coming through, so do never race through a light, even if it's been green for a while. Just don't race through a light, because you'll never know when a pedestrian's deciding to quickly run across because he thinks that it's clear. Just don't do those things. Avoid those things fully, unless you are 100% sure that everywhere is clear. Even this morning I had I was about to say, even this morning I had someone jump the red lights. It was just so random. He was waiting there for ages and decided to go way before it was changing. And that's exactly what this person was just about to do, until the little girl told him to wait. Watch the body language of these cars. And when I mean the body language, I also mean like look at their wheels as well. A lot of the times when I am watching for cars and what decision the driver's going to make, I'm also looking at the wheels. more often than not the wheels will poke out just a second before the car actually, you know, changes motion. So look out for things like that. This is obviously a parked car. I have no solution for somebody opening a door on you. Shit will happen if it's time to happen. And just to remind you, obviously I don't use my wing mirrors on my bike because I have a rear view mirror inside my helmet. So I use that in combination with the lifesavers. So right now I'm just monitoring the gaps between the cars. If you don't feel confident in going through a gap, then just don't do it, just hang back. But what I do is if there's a gap that's too small for me to fit and I'm waiting for the opportunity to present itself, I will anchor myself against the car. So basically my position is always going to be the same in relativity to the actual car that I've chosen to anchor myself to. Right, there we go. Let's do some filtering. So the gaps are closing, anchoring myself. Oh, that gap is way too small. Get off your fucking flow. Move forward. I could see in her wing mirror that she wasn't actually concentrating on the road. That's the only reason I beat her. This was the wrong car for me to try and squeeze between. Oh, but he's seen me. He's seen me. He's a gangster. Thank you. It's hard to actually talk and do this bit because it takes quite a bit of concentration. But yeah, I'm looking at staggered mirrors, as I explained before. Anything that's too close, I just wait. I still can't explain about me anchoring against these cars. I'm anchoring against the one on the right at the moment, so I could fit through with the car, which means so I'm too close to the car to pass it, the one on the right, the one that I just anchored myself to. But I'm concentrating on its speed and its movement, so that if it was to brake, I would brake with it so I don't hit into its wing mirror. And as it creeps past the car that was on the left, I would also creep past with it and pass the car on the left's wing mirror and then overtake the car on the right. Let's see if that explanation helps. Oh. The main thing is just be confident in what you're doing and be confident in what other people are doing and whether they've seen you or not. Just look out for those things. Also, once you get used to filtering and you think you're a badass, always look behind you because there's always someone who's better than you just waiting to get past. If it's constantly on your ass, it means that it's possible he can go faster than you and he would like to pass, and just give him the opportunity to pass. This is where my bike shines. She is a filtering queen. lined up mirrors, just waiting. So yeah, obviously you can't look at every single driver in their ring mirrors, but you can tell by their body language that they're not concentrating. So if the car is drifting about in its lane, or it's drifting over to one side, you can bet that the driver is not concentrating. Obviously because they're in traffic, they're probably using that time to check their phones. So always monitor that. Also, most drivers, when they see you, they would move over, like this van driver's just done for me. So if they haven't moved over, it's probably because they haven't seen you. You shouldn't expect anyone to move over, but it's just another signal to know whether a driver has seen you or not. So this van driver's not concentrating on what he's doing because he was just veering over into the lane. Be ready to brake, doing an emergency brake. And when I say be ready, I don't just mean slamming on the brakes, I mean bringing your bike into an upright position. You do not want to be caught braking whilst you're leaning or turning. That will cause your bike to tip over. Forget about skidding, it's all about tipping over. And if you push the majority of the bike's weight over to one side, you won't be able to lift that bugger up. I did all of that without putting my feet down. Gangsta.